Hey everyone, and welcome back. We're diving deep today into the world of sustainable architecture with a story about an architect named Sarah. It's based on this Medium article. It's called Coaching an Architect Through Transformation by Dr. Bahram H. Yusufi.
Yeah, and what's so cool about Sarah's story is that it's it really shows how to completely transform a business to be more sustainable.
Yeah, and I think that's what I found really interesting. It wasn't just like, oh, I'm just going to start using different materials. It's like a whole,
A whole new way of thinking,
yeah,
yeah.
a whole new way of thinking. So
Yeah.
the article lays out these 7 key steps in her journey. The first one is, and this is where it starts, is clarity of vision, which sounds kind of basic, but the article emphasizes how important it is for her to define, what she wants to achieve.
Right, and I think this is where a lot of people kind of get stuck, You're like, I want to be more sustainable, but what does that actually mean?
Hmm.
For Sarah, it was about designing homes that were energy efficient, that minimized waste during construction, and even had a lower impact on the surrounding environment.
Okay, so she has this vision. Now what?
So then she does a SWOT analysis,
Oh, yeah.
which is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats.
It's like that classic business tool.
Yeah, exactly. But, it can also be applied to personal growth, too. It's about being honest with yourself about where you're starting from.
And that can be intimidating for some people, right?
Oh, absolutely. You know what? If you're not as far along as you thought you were,
Right.
that's where a coach can be so valuable. They can help you kind of identify those blind spots and guide you through that process.
Okay. So let's say her SWOT analysis reveals that she needs to, beef up her knowledge of sustainable materials
Mm-hmm.
or learn a new software program. That's where skill development comes in.
Right, exactly. So there's a few things she focuses on. There are certifications in sustainable design, which is great because it shows clients that she's serious about this. And then there's building information modeling, or BIM.
Oh, BIM. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just a fancy acronym. It's actually this incredible software that allows architects to create 3D models of their buildings, and then they can simulate things like energy consumption.
Wait, so BIM, how does that actually work?
Okay, so let's say Sarah's designing a home and she's trying to decide between two different types of windows. With BIM, she can actually simulate how each type of window would perform in that specific location, taking into account things like the climate, the orientation of the building, even the surrounding landscape.
Wow. So it's like
Wow.
it's like a crystal ball showing you the impact before you even break ground.
Exactly.
I love that.
Yeah.
So it seems like this is really changing how she even approaches design. It's not just learning new things. It's like
Whole new
a whole new.
way of thinking, yeah.
Yeah. So when she has these skills, what's next?
Okay, so then we move into redesigning business processes.
Okay.
And this emphasizes that in order to really embrace sustainability, it has to be woven into how her business operates.
So we're talking about changing everything from project management to
Mhm.
how she sources materials.
Exactly. And even how she communicates with clients. Instead of just talking about aesthetics or functionality, she can now talk about the value of sustainability.
All right.
She can show clients how her designs will save them money on energy bills and reduce their environmental impact.
Yeah, and that's a message that resonates with a lot of people these days, right?
For sure.
So how do you actually go about redesigning those processes? It seems like a big task.
It is, but the article provides some great examples. So, for example, she might implement new project management systems that track the sustainability of her projects. Or she could develop partnerships with suppliers who offer eco-friendly building materials.
I'm starting to see how much this really changes her business. It's not just a surface level makeover.
That's a whole new
Great.
ethos. Yeah.
Yeah, a whole new ethos.
And then that leads us to branding and marketing.
Okay, let's talk about that. So this is about, I have a feeling this is more than just putting a green label on her website.
Right. It's about crafting a brand that really reflects her commitment to sustainability. So think a new website that showcases her sustainable projects, a portfolio that highlights her expertise in this area, and marketing campaigns that really target clients who are looking for eco-conscious design.
That's fascinating. I'm already thinking about how these steps could apply to other fields.
Yeah.
But let's get back to Sarah's journey and hear what the next step is.
It's funny you mention that because the next step is setting performance metrics. And this is where we shift from the qualitative to the quantitative. How do we measure her success? You can't just say you're committed to sustainability. You have to be able to prove it.
So what kind of metrics are we talking about?
It could be the number of sustainable projects she wins, the percentage of her projects that achieve green building certifications like LED, or even the reduction in carbon footprint for her clients.
Yeah, it's like holding yourself accountable. You set goals and then you track your progress.
Exactly. And then that brings us to the final step, which is execution and iteration. This is where, like, the rubber meets the road. She's got to put her plan into action.
But things aren't always going to go according to plan.
Right. And that's where the iteration comes in. She has to be open to feedback, learn from her mistakes, and constantly be refining her approach.
So it's all about being flexible.
Exactly.
Wow, I'm really impressed by this whole process. It seems like it covers everything.
And what's so cool is that these steps can be applied to, like, so many other areas of life. Even if you're not an architect, you're on a journey too. Maybe you're trying to launch a new project, learn a new skill, make some positive changes in your life. These 7 steps can be a roadmap for any kind of transformation.
Okay, so like, give me an example. How could these steps apply to someone who's not in the architecture world?
Okay, let's say you're passionate about reducing your carbon footprint. You could apply these steps to create a more sustainable lifestyle for yourself.
Okay, I like that. Walk me through it.
So it starts with clarity of vision. Like, what does a sustainable lifestyle actually look like to you? Is it about reducing your energy consumption at home,
Yeah.
supporting local businesses, minimizing waste? Once you have that vision, then you can assess your current state.
Okay.
Like, what are you already doing well? And where is there room for improvement?
So maybe I'm already pretty good at recycling, but I could cut back on my use of plastic.
Exactly. And then you can move on to skill development. Maybe you research zero waste living tips or learn how to compost. It's all about equipping yourself with the knowledge to make those changes.
And then I guess the next step would be to redesign my daily routines to incorporate those new skills.
Yeah, like bringing your own reusable bags to the grocery store, biking to work instead of driving,
Yeah.
or switching to eco-friendly cleaning products.
Got it. And then what about branding and marketing?
Well, you can also apply that to your personal life. Share your journey with others. Talk about the changes you're making. Advocate for sustainability in your community.
That's a good point. So it's not just about individual change, it's about inspiring others.
Right. And don't forget about setting those performance metrics. Like, how much waste did you reduce this week? How many times did you bike instead of drive?
It's motivating to actually see the impact.
Exactly.
Wow, we started with an architect and now we're talking about transforming our lives and communities.
That's what's so cool about frameworks like this. They can apply to so many different things, and it shows that even small actions can make a difference.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Sarah's journey, what's the one key takeaway you want our listeners to walk away with?
You know, I think the big thing is that transformation is like a journey, not a destination. You're constantly learning and adapting and just challenging yourself to do better. And Sarah's story really shows that sustainability isn't just some like trendy buzzword. It's like a fundamental shift in how we approach our work and our lives.
You know, it's interesting. This whole conversation is really like broadened my perspective on what sustainability means. It's not just about recycling or using less energy. It's like a mindset, you know?
Yeah, it's a way of thinking that considers the long-term impact of our choices.
Exactly.
And that's what's so powerful about it. When you start thinking about sustainability in everything you do, it's less about sacrifice and more about finding like creative solutions
Yeah.
that benefit both people and the planet.
It's like think globally, act locally,
Right.
right? We can all make a difference.
Absolutely.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one thing you want our listeners to take away?
I want them to think about what's one small step you can take today to be more sustainable.
Okay.
Maybe it's bringing your own reusable cup to the coffee shop,
Yeah.
or switching to energy-efficient light bulbs.
Or maybe something a little bigger, like
Mm-hmm.
researching sustainable businesses
No,
or cutting back on meat.
yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Don't underestimate the power of that one small step.
Yeah. This has been such a great conversation. We've really covered a lot of ground.
We have, from architecture to personal growth to the interconnectedness of everything.
Who knew that a Medium article about an architect could lead to all of this?
Right.
It just goes to show that you never know where knowledge will take you. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.
And remember, transformation is a journey we can all take.
That's a great way to put it. Thank you for joining us on the Deep Dive, where we unpack the knowledge that matters so you don't have to.